Hello everybody, we're doing my continued shout out to the Animal Rescue League of Boston for the holiday season. This is a great organization that does so much for homeless animals. I'm gonna leave a link to their website down below. Please go check them out, donate if you can. Let's do some good for homeless dogs, cats, and various other critters for this Christmas season. And for those of you who have been missing the sponsors, today's review is sponsored by Dawn Dish Soap, the Mafia-made dish detergent. It'll rub out those dish stains and leave them sleeping with the fishes. Or the dishes.
Watch it, Alan, I'm shooting.
Dead and buried. But not really. You all know about my frustration with the zombie genre. Not that I dislike zombie movies, I used to be a big fan of zombies. I've just gotten sick of them over the years because so little new is done with them. But when a zombie movie does something different, I will praise it. One of my favorite zombie movies is Return of the Living Dead because of how different it is to other zombie movies. And then we have Dead and Buried, another movie that stands out in the genre because of how different it is. It also happens to be a movie that was put on the infamous Video Nasties list. Why? No one knows. The movie takes place in the small town of Potters Bluff. This is your typical movie small town. Everybody seems to know everybody, and certain townsfolk seem to not take kindly to strangers. When tourists, or simply people just passing through, come to the town, certain townsfolk end up murdering them violently, unbeknownst to other members of the town. The local sheriff begins to investigate the murders, but as his investigation goes on, the murder victims seem to come back to life, and have now been indoctrinated into the town.
Oh, is there a gas station nearby?
Hey, Freddie, can you sell these folks some gas?
Sure thing. It's just down the street.
Best thing about Dead and Buried is that it's a unique zombie movie. This isn't your Romero-style zombie flick. You don't have this horde of undead ghouls going around the countryside eating people, spreading this virus that results in the dead rising from the grave. The zombies in this movie seem to come back as ordinary, everyday people. They get jobs and act completely fine, but it's clear that they've been brainwashed to become members of Potters Bluff, and they do get some murdery tendencies. The movie leans more towards voodoo zombies, which is great. We need variety in the zombie genre, and as a result, Dead and Buried stands out in a genre where a lot of movies are similar. There are some good kills in this movie, with the effects done by Stan Winston and company. We also have the screenplay written by Dan O'Bannon of Alien fame, and we also have a small role by Robert Englund 3 years before he became Freddy Krueger.
Very funny.
Now, boys, don't be riding Danny here too hard. He's apt to leave this town. We're lucky to have him.
Now, while the kills are good, the movie keeps you guessing because we don't know if the murder victim is going to stay dead, and we don't know where they're going to appear in the town of Potters Bluff. But the kills are good, some gory, some more suggested. What makes the kills so effective is the fact that the whole town seems to be in on it. Rarely do you see one person going at the victim. It's a group of people coming at them all at once. So there is that horde mentality that you see in most zombie movies, but it's an intelligent horde, which I find more frightening. A horde that can think is scarier than a horde that does not. I said horde, not whore. I'm okay with my whore's thinking.
Smile.
The kills are effective, but the movie isn't about the kills. It's not your all-out flesh-eating gore fest like you see in most zombie movies. Nothing wrong with gore, I am a proud gorehound, but I love suspense and atmosphere.
Welcome to Potters Bluff.
Dead and Buried is all about the atmosphere. One of my favorite scenes in the movie involves this family that's just passing through town. One thing leads to another and they end up crashing their car, resulting in them looking for help in a nearby house. The scene is filled with fog, giving it this gothic horror feel. The movie does a good job at making this small town feel like it's in a gothic horror movie.
No,
Let's
there's
go.
somebody here.
There's nobody here. Now let's get
They're
out of
fixing the
here. I don't
fuses.
like the place is not safe.
They're fixing the fuses in the
Oh,
basement.
fine. Okay, fine. Listen, go with your mother, all right?
Now, this is a scene where people are just walking around a house, and this could so easily become padding. Padding is one of those things in a movie that drives me nuts. I can't stand padding, because to me it's lazy. It shows that the filmmakers didn't know what to do with their idea, so instead of coming up with ideas, they fill their movie with padding, like people walking around a house, doing uninteresting tasks with unneeded detail. You know, like opening a door or walking from their car into a building. That stuff drives me nuts. There are plenty of movies that pad out their runtime because they want to get to a feature-length runtime, but there is a way to make padding interesting, if that makes any sense. This scene in Dead and Buried is an example of how to do padding, or a scene where not much is happening, interestingly. As the family is moving around the house, we see shadowy figures in the background, popping up every now and again, and that builds suspense. There is one jump scare in this scene, but for the most part, it's seeing someone moving around in the background, and that creates tension. It shows that these people are going to be attacked. I love when filmmakers put creepy shit in the background. For me, that's scarier than a jump scare. Seeing what's going to be coming builds up the suspense so much, making it unbearable, and then it hits you with the scare.
Now, come on, let's get out of here, all right?
Welcome to Potters Bluff.
What's going on?
Give me the boy, run!
The only thing hurting this movie is the mystery. There's a mystery going on throughout the film, mainly who's behind all this. And it's pretty obvious who the main baddie is. Not that it's a bad main baddie, it's just that, yeah, you know what's coming. I am technically getting into spoilers here, but I won't reveal anything big. I'm not going to talk about any main plot points. Oh, okay, technically this is a main plot point, but it's so predictable that you can't really call it a spoiler. If you want to be on the safe side, just skip ahead to this time in the video to avoid spoilers, but again, it's so predictable that you cannot call this a spoiler. The main villain is the town mortician, played by Jack Albertson, Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Good morning! Look at the sun!
Grandpa Joe, how could you? So yeah, he's the town mortician, and he views his job as an art form, making bodies look nice for an open casket funeral. And it's obvious that he's the one pulling the strings zombie-wise. When the reveal happens, all you can say is, yeah, of course he's the main villain.
Go on. Pull the trigger. Help me to become one of my own children. Ah, Dad. I enjoy these little chess games with you. Perhaps you need a little more motivation.
I won't reveal what he does or how he does it, but yeah, he's the main villain. Despite that hiccup, Dead and Buried is a good zombie movie, and a unique zombie movie. The mystery might not be that strong, but the atmosphere is good, the characters are likable enough, and the story is interesting. I won't say that Dead and Buried is my favorite of the video Nasties, nor would I say it's one of my favorite zombie movies, but it is good and it's well worth checking out. And I do think it should be praised for being a different kind of zombie movie. And with that, let's get to the Grindhouse rankings. We've got a body count of 12 to an extent. There are a lot of people who die and come back, many who we did not see die the first time, so I'm only counting people who were confirmed killed without question. The kills consist of, but are not limited to, stabbings, a needle to the eye, getting burned alive, and a rock to the face. It kind of reaches the zombie requirements with people coming back from the dead and undead hordes, but it is very different from most zombie movies. There is a little nudity in the movie, but not much. The atmosphere is great. It gives the movie sort of a gothic horror feel. The mystery could have been better, it's obvious who's pulling the strings, but the movie still has a couple twists and turns. The characters are good. Not the best, but we don't want to see them die, which adds to the suspense. And the movie has a solid ending, one with a good final image. I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5. It may not be my favorite zombie movie, but it is a unique zombie movie and a well-done film. As always, I want to thank all of you for continuing to watch and support this channel. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know something that you want to see in a zombie movie that hasn't been done with zombies yet. This is the Maniac, here to remind you that the Grindhouse will never die. Something that I want to see in zombie movies is, I want to see a fully functioning zombie society. I'm talking Planet of the Apes meets Dawn of the Dead.